Hey everyone, this is the Spoon Dude, back with another custom figure showcase. This time we're looking at my custom Robin figure. I actually completed this custom a while ago. It takes me a while to, get around to making these full videos on my customs. So if you want to see my latest projects as soon as I make them, you really should be following me on Instagram, and I'll put that link in the description below. I started this custom around the same time I started working on my Nightwing figure. I decided that I would make a Tim Drake Robin because besides Dick Grayson, Tim Drake is my favorite Robin. I know Damian Wayne is the current one, but he's fine, but I prefer Tim Drake. And yes, I know these days he's Red Robin or that, but I grew up with him as Robin, so I wanted a figure of him as Robin. At first, I wasn't sure which Tim Drake custom to use. I debated between his original red and green suit and his more modern red and black one. I decided I'd let my followers on Instagram decide, and I ran a poll on it. Again, link in the description. I was already leaning towards the red and black, as that suit is closer in design to Batman's costume, making them look a little bit more like a team, and I guess my Instagram followers agreed with me, and they voted for that one. I used the Superior Spider-Man figure as the base body because it was the perfect build for a slightly older Tim Drake. He's got that slim build with plenty of articulation for an agile character like Robin. And next to the Batman and Nightwing figures, this Spider-Man body is noticeably shorter as well, which I think works perfectly. For his belt, I used the Deadpool belt from the X-Men Deadpool that I used for my Nightwing. For his head, I used the Batman Missions Robin head. This was a cheaper toy line that Mattel did when they still had the license, and I bought it pretty much just to have the head. Shout out to the Spider Criminal on Instagram, as he's the one who kind of showed me how that head would fit on a Marvel Legends figure. I disassembled the figure so I could better sand the joints and prevent paint rub. The sculpt work on this figure was pretty simple. As I said, he has a lot of the same design elements as Batman, from the undies to those boots, and even the same kind of gloves with the spikes. I did all of those things the same way as I did with Batman. I sculpted the yellow rectangles on his torso, and while now I do kind of see that they're a little bit, crooked and not quite even, I think they're decent enough. Unfortunately, the logo is kind of weirdly placed on his torso, and it's a little bit too close to that yellow rectangle and stuff, and it's mainly because of the butterfly joints of the figure didn't really let me place it where it should be on his costume. Again, though, I didn't really have much choice, though. I also sculpted the edge of his cape on his neck. And then for the head, I did some resculpting. I added a little bit more hair on the front. Why? I don't know. But I did. And then I did reshape his mask. The one he had was fine and is accurate to some comics, I'm sure, but in my head I always think of Robin with the more simple kind of domino mask, and I decided that giving Robin this sort of simpler mask also differentiates him from my Nightwing. So, yeah. For painting, I primed the red parts of his suit with a red primer, and then finished those sections painting them red by hand. I did some subtle darker paint washes like in his torso, but I didn't want to go too crazy with it, because if you do too many washes or dry brushing, it might look a little bit too overly detailed or too kind of dirty, muddy looking, and I didn't really want that to be the case for this Robin, or really most of my DC customs. I painted the head the same as normal. To see that process, check out my Tobey Maguire Spider-Man video. I go into a little bit more detail there. This head was a little bit easier, of course, since he doesn't have, detailed eyes. He just has those whited out ones. For his cape, I used both a black and yellow fabric for that kind of two-toned look. I know for this version of Robin's costume, his cape should be a little bit closer to Batman's with that scalloped edge. But since I was working with the 2 layers of fabric, I felt like I just couldn't be bothered to try and figure out the logistics of that, so yeah, it's whatever. The last thing Robin needed was his signature staff. Now, I didn't have any staffs from any figures, surprisingly, so I ended up just taking an old paintbrush, chopping off the paintbrush part, and yeah, it's a silver stick. I painted it silver, and and it's a silver stick he can hold. It's decent, and if I find a better one, I'll give him a better one. So yeah, that's my custom Robin. I really like how he scales next to my Batman and Nightwing, and overall I'm really happy with how he looks. If you liked the figure as well or enjoyed the video, make sure to click that like button, subscribe for more videos if you haven't already, and comment below your thoughts on the figure or any suggestions for what DC character I should make next. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.